Camera number 232 of 365 is the Nikon F60. I think it's pretty much the last of this series of cameras that I have in my collection. With its predecessors, it takes batteries which are fitted into the grip, and there's two 123A batteries. And then just be careful of the plastic lip that seals that container. And then on the base we just have a tripod mount and mid-roll rewind. And then coming up on the right here we have a selection for our manual focus or autofocus. Yes, it is an autofocus camera. We have to be careful with the lenses. AF and AFD and AFG lenses can be used. And there are a couple of other lenses that can be used, but not all Nikon, certainly not the AI, I believe, lenses don't work with this particular camera. Also, something else that doesn't work is when we put, this is something that I had to scratch my head over for a while. Sometimes I place film in a camera that doesn't have DX coding, and predominantly a lot of the cameras are fine. They will default to perhaps 100 ISO, sorry, but not so with this particular camera. When I placed my cartridge in, and it just refused to wind on, and then there was an error code. I thought the camera didn't work, and then of course when you read the manual, and it does highlight that DX coded film only can be used with this particular camera. So note to user, the F60 will only use DX coded film. So while we're on the front, we have our lens release. And then we have our focus assist light, our button to release our built-in flash. Let's just put the lens back on. And then around the back here, nice to see a diopter adjustment there. And then we have our command dial that allows us to choose when we're in manual mode. We choose our shutter speed, and then we press this button to change our aperture. In aperture priority mode, this will change the aperture. In shutter, it will change the shutter. And in program, we can change or shift the program mode. And then in auto, it doesn't do anything. We also have a couple of creative modes: portrait, landscape, macro, sports mode, and nighttime portraiture. We have a self timer, exposure compensation, and that was quite useful because with this particular film I had, it was 100 ISO rated film, but I only had a 200 ISO film canister. So I was able to dial in a bit of underexposure. One stop I tried, and we'll see whether that was any good when we have a look at the pictures at the end. And then we can choose a couple of flash modes through this button here. Auto exposure lock, I forgot to mention that. So it's one of the more basic of the F series. Has a few features that are lacking perhaps in a camera of this particular nature, but there you go. But it was still nonetheless a nice experience. Again, plastic predominantly, but there we go. So that is the Nikon F60, and that has been camera number 232 of 365.